Here are some things you forgot about old Siege. Remember when you had to buy attachments? When Jager had Acog? Or when Ela was the strongest defender? There'll be some stuff you may remember, and some stuff you will have never heard of before. Subscribe if you enjoy old Siege content. Once upon a time, we had to buy attachments for our guns using Renown. In Year 3, Season 1, Ubisoft decided to make all attachments free. Someone even worked out how much it would cost if you bought every single attachment. And it would have costed around 97,000 Renown. And they never refunded us for any of the attachments we bought, because of technical limitations. But they did refund us for the Jager and Bandit Acog attachments. And this is the actual message that players received when they removed the scope from their loadouts. Jager and Bandit were so overpowered and overpicked that Ubisoft decided to take away their 2.5 scopes, otherwise known as Acog. His ADS gadget was also much stronger than it is today, and has received many nerfs and changes. We was also refunded for the SMG 11 Acog, which could be equipped to smoke and sledge, because Mute didn't have an SMG 11. This is the message we got from Ubisoft when we opened our game. It was removed in Year 1, Season 4, meaning it was in the game for just 1 year. The 2017 version of Ela was the most overpowered defender in Siege history. The recoil on her Scorpion gun was non-existent. It even had 51 bullets, so you could wipe out a full team without needing to reload. The hipfire was also insanely broken. When you walked into her gadget, it would slow you down until the effect has passed. She was a 3-speed operator, and this was back when 3 speeds were very fast. And if you got injured with Ela, you could press a button to trigger an extra concussion mine, so she technically had 4 gadgets. Within 1 season, she was nerfed, and continued to get nerfs over the years. Remember the Outbreak event? This was the best event to come to Siege, and it was the first event ever. This was only in the game for 4 weeks, and was released in 2018 with the release of Lion and Finka. Looking back, the amount of detail that Ubisoft put into this event is insane. For example, there were 5 types of zombies, and depending on which zombie that killed you, you'd get a different cutscene. In the Outbreak packs, you had the chance of unlocking an Ash Black Viper Elite skin. So if you were lucky enough, you could have unlocked this in one of your free packs, which I did. In the same season, Ubisoft were giving players free Ash Sidewinder Elites because of an error that they made. Outbreak was such a huge success that they made the game Rainbow Six Extraction, which turned out to be a flop. The little details, like the takedown animations, really impress me when I look back at this. We don't get events like this anymore. There was even a mission where you had to rescue Jager.
Can you walk my leg? I need to carry you.
I'm fine.
Remember when you could play hot potato with a frag grenade? The throwback grenade feature was removed because of player frustration, with most people not having enough time to actually throw it back. But this was back when you could cook nades, so this feature might actually be useful in current Siege. Remember when Zofia was one of the strongest and most picked attackers in Siege? She had the withstand ability, allowing you to revive yourself if you ever got injured. But you would only be left with 1 HP, which was later changed to 5 HP. She was really fun, but it got to a point where Zofia was chosen in 70 to 80% of ranked games, and also picked in Pro League a lot. So Ubisoft nerfed her LMG, assault rifle, and made her a 1-speed 3 armor, and now she's barely picked. Old Melusi was one of my favorite operators I've ever used. She had Legion's T5 SMG, along with C4, and she was a 3-speed. Her gadget was also different. The Banshees were bulletproof. The only way you could destroy them was by knifing it or using an explosive. The range was also massive. Eventually, Melusi's T5 SMG was swapped with Oryx's MP5. And yes, Oryx used to have the MP5, but he was awful. Remember how overpowered Twitch was? In 2015, when Twitch was first released, she had 20 tasers per drone, and each taser did 10 damage. And you would also be given a Twitch drone during the preparation phase, so if a defender went AFK and a Twitch drone finds them, they'd be dead before the prep phase ends. She also used to have a different portrait, which I prefer. Since launch, Ubisoft have changed the drone so many times, but her drone isn't what made Twitch strong. It was her F2 laser beam assault rifle. She had access to the vertical grip, giving it 0 recoil and 31 bullets in a magazine. Clash was so broken when she was released that she had to get disabled from quick match, ranked, and even custom games, not allowing anyone to choose her, mainly due to exploits like you're seeing in these clips, which made her invincible, but also because she was poorly balanced. This happened 3 times, in 3 different seasons. In current Siege meta, Clash is statistically the worst defender, and is in desperate need of a rework, like Recruit and Blackbeard, possibly removing the shield, or changing the shape and how it works overall. Lion was hands down the most broken operator to ever touch Siege. If a defender moved during a Lion scan, they would have a red outline on their body. It also used to last much longer. Here's what the new Lion scan sounds like, which you already know.
Enemy drone moving into scan. Starting timer.
And this is the old one.
Enemy drone incoming. Starting the clock.
Remember when Goyo had 3 deployable shields? In 2019, when Goyo was first released, he had 3 Vulcan canisters, which were then attached to a deployable shield. When destroyed, it would cause an explosion and would last for around 10 seconds, which has now been buffed to 20 seconds. Would this version of Goyo be too overpowered in the current Siege meta? Let me know in the comments. In the same update that Amaru and Goyo came out, deployable shields also received a complete rework. This is what old deployable shields used to look like. Remember when Echo had invisible drones? I never used to think this was overpowered, but in current Siege, I think this would be very strong. And speaking of invisible gadgets, Legion used to have invisible goo mines. On paper, this might sound overpowered, but they were easy to see. I think what made Legion so strong is the fact you could see where your mines are, at all times. So if someone walked into your goo mine, you'd know exactly where. And I feel like the recoil was even easier to control than it is today. When Aruni was released, the P-10 Roni had 21 bullets, which made it insane. Her gadget dealt 40 damage, and she was a 2 armor, 2 speed. If you enjoyed the video, then destroy the like button and comment what you miss most about Old Siege. Please consider supporting me by becoming a member to my channel, so that I can continue to make Siege videos. Thanks for watching.